ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तो पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणम् तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नत्वा श्रीभारती तीर्थ विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
भारतीतीर्थविद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
अधीमहे पञ्चदशीं कैवल्यपदसिद्धये
अधीमहे पञ्चदशीं कैवल्यपदसिद्धये
पंचकोश विवेक प्रकरणं श्लोक नंबर 23। अस्ति तावत् स्वयं नाम विवादा विषयत्वतः
अस्ति तावत् स्वयं नाम विवादाविषयत्वतः
स्वस्मिन्नपि विवादश्चेत् प्रतिपाद्यत्र को भवेत्।
स्वस्मिन्नपि विवादश्चेत् प्रतिपाद्यत्र को भवेत्।
स्वासत्वं तु न कस्मै चिद्रोचते विभ्रमं विना
स्वासत्वं न कस्मैचित् रोचते विभ्रमं विना
अतएव श्रुतिर्बाधं ब्रूते चासत्त्ववादिनः।
अतएव श्रुतिर्बाधं ब्रूते चासत्त्ववादिनः।
असद्ब्रह्मेति चेत् वेद स्वयमेव भवेदसत्।
असद्ब्रह्मेति चेत् स्वयमेव भवेदसत्।
अतोऽस्य मा भूद्वेद्यत्वं स्वसत्त्वं त्वभ्युपेयताम्।
अतोऽस्य मामुपेत्य विश्वं स्वसत्त्वमभ्युपेयताम्
Up to that we saw. Swayam nama asti. Ityukte aham nama asmi. Aham asmi iti vivadaha. Vivadaha. Avishayat vataha. Vivadasya avishayat vataha aham nama asmi. Vivada abhavat. It is not a matter for vivada. It's not a matter for debate. Why? Aham na asmi iti viparita jnanam kasyapi na bhavati. Aham asmi va na asmi va iti अस्मिन् विषये कस्यापि सन्देहः नास्ति अतः विवादविषयः न अतः विवाद अविषयत्वतः विवाद अविषयत्वात् अहम् अस्मि वा अहम् आत्मा अस्मि वा न अस्मि वा इति यदि स्वसत्तायाः विषये संशयः अस्ति विवादः अस्ति तर्हि कः प्रतिवादी भवेत् who will be the prativadi. The prativadi also has to be an existent entity to counter aham na asmi. That is not possible. Therefore, atma aham atma asmi eva swayam nama asti. One exists. There is no question of non-existence of oneself. It is not a topic for vivada. A topic can become an issue for debate for vada only when there is Purva Pakshi, Siddhanti and Purva Pakshi. When there is no Purva Pakshi, when there is no Prativadi, then it is not a matter for debate. The Prativadi, in fact, has to exist. He exists. So the existent Prativadi has to prove that he doesn't exist. That is not possible. Vadi says, I exist. To counter Vadi, the Prativadi has to prove that he doesn't exist. So non-existent Prativadi, how will he contradict the existent Vadi? So therefore Prativadi has to exist. If he exists, then how can he say that Aham Atma Nasmi? Not possible. Therefore, Atma na shunyam. Atma shunyam na bhavati. Sakshi Chaitanyam negates everything. After negating everything, the negator remains unnegated. It remains. Therefore, it is not Vivada Vishaya. I think we saw the 23rd shloka. Then 24th. Swa asatvam, swasya asatvam, swa satvam. Swasya asatvam. Na kasme chitto rochate. Swasya asatvam. Atma bhavaha. Na kasme chitto rochate vibramam vina. Brahmam vihaya. Brahmam vina. Swasya abhavam. Gopi na manyate. Ataeva shruti badam brute. Asattavadinaha. There are people who are asattavadins. Sattavadins, na sattavadi, na sattavadi, asattavadi, asattavadinaha. Asattam vadati iti. Asattavadi, vadi, vadin shabda. Asattavadinaha badam. Badam is negation, anupapatti, untenability. Shrutihi brute, Shrutihi vadati. Why? Because aham na asmi iti kenapi vaktum na shakyate. Atah asattavadinah Shrutihi badam anupapattim brute vadati. Kutra Taittiriya Upanishadi. Asat brahmeti asanne vasabhavati asat brahmeti chet veda asat eva bhavati asat brahma iti veda chet यदि कश्चित् ब्रह्म नास्ति इति वदति तर्हि स्वयमेव असत् भवति आत्मनः असत्त्वं न केनापि इष्यते अतः आत्मा अस्ति एव असत् ब्रह्मेति चेत् वेद चेत् if brahma is not then swayam also the person atma itself becomes asat अतः अस्य मा भूत it is lung lakara ma abhut namang yoge by that namang mangi lung namang yoge ma is the lung lakara will be used and mangi namang yoge by that attakamakara disappears not the it gets elided अतः अस्य मा भूत वेद्यत्वं स्वसत्वं to abhipeyata. Therefore, swasya sattvam has to be abhipeyatam, should be accepted, angikartavyam. Because Atma is not a subject matter for knowing like any other Vishayajnanam, Gatapatadivat, Atma Nyayaha Nabhavati. Therefore, one cannot conclude it is not there. Atma asti eva swasattvam. Because it is not a Vishaya like any other Vishaya for knowing. Therefore, one cannot conclude Atma doesn't exist. If Atma doesn't exist, if one concludes, then who is the one who speaks? Who is the one who says? That's what the Acharya says. Prativadi ko bhavet. Therefore, no one likes to say that aham na asmi iti. Swasya abhavaha na kaschit ishyate. Therefore, Atma asti. And that Atma is Brahma. Brahma asti. Sva asattam na kasmechit rochate vibramam vina. Therefore, Shruti ki badam brute. Katam brute, badam brute. यदि असन्नेव सबवति असद् ब्रह्मेति चेद् वेद तर्हि स्वयमेव असद् भवति स्वयमेव असद् भवति therefore if one says brahma is shunyam doesn't exist then oneself which becomes asat therefore brahma is atma therefore if one says brahma is asat then the person who says is also as good as asat therefore one cannot dismiss brahma as asat. Therefore, abhyupeyatam angikartavyam atmanah sattvam atmanah that is swasya sattvam angikartavyam. And this atma is not vedya. She doesn't enjoy the status of being known. Vedyatvam mabhu tasya atmanah. So atma is the atma is natu vedya vishaya. It is not an object to be known. Therefore, may you not mabhut, may you not accept the objectionability of the Atma. Atma is not an object. So, therefore, may you not accept and may you accept Atmanaha Sattvam Bhavam. Nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Non-existent do not exist. That which existent cannot be dismissed. So the Atma which is existent exists. Abhipayata. Don't try to know it like any other object using other pramana, pratyakshadi pramana. By that, don't try to know it. Therefore, don't try to objectify Atma. Therefore, ma bhut, vedyatvam ma bhut, swasya sattvam angikartavyam abhipayata. Up to that we saw. Therefore, because Atma is not objectifiable. Because Atma is not objectifiable, it is because I am not objectifiable, because I cannot objectify myself. Therefore, one cannot say I do not exist. Therefore, for existence, objectification is not the condition. Without being objectified, I exist. The witness, Sakshi Chaitanyam, is there, because of which all the knowledge happens. So that cannot be Sakshyam, that cannot become Sakshyam. That cannot be known. If that is known, then you will have all the other problem, regressive issue. If Sakshi is also Sakshya, if Sakshi becomes Sakshya, then the Sakshya must have a Sakshi. Then that becomes Sakshya, then that must have a Sakshi. Therefore, it will have infinite regression. Therefore, Sakshi Atma, without being objectified, it exists. So therefore, Vedyatvam, Mabhut Vedyatvam Atmanaha, Ataha Mabhut Swasya Sattvam Abhivetam Iti. Then the next shloka, if that is so, then what is this Atma? What is the nature of this Atma? What is the prescription of the Atma? The Atma has to be defined. What is the definition of Atma? So that naturally that question will come, then who am I? If I am not objectifiable, if I cannot know myself, then who am I? How does Atma appear? Because the person wants to conceive Atma. Because without conceptualizing Atma, the person cannot accept Atma. There is resistance on the part of the person, the student, to accept Atma because he has been oriented to conceptualize things and understand. But he forgets the Sakshi Chaitanyam, in fact, it is witness of even all the concepts. All the conceptualization is possible only when Atma is. Without that, it is not possible. That he wants to conceptualize. So that Acharya, he negates. The next shloka. Let us read. Kidrik sarghiti chet prichedri drikta nasti tatrahi.
ईदृक्तर्हि
तर्हि चेत्
चेदृच्छेद् ईदृक्ता
नास्ति
नास्ति
तत्र हि
नास्ति तत्र हि
यदनी दृगता दृक्ष तत्स्वरूपं विनिश्चिनु.
यदनीदृक्ता दृक्ष
तदनीतृकता दृक्च तत्स्वरूपं विनिश्चिनु.
कीदृक् aham asmi, कीदृक् atma asti, iti pritchet. If it is asked, tarhi. So tarhi is for yadi. Yadi atma कीदृक् asti iti pritchet. How does atma look like? Suppose if it is asked. Then if answer is given, yadi atma etavat ईदृक् तादृक् asti iti उत्तरं वदति, तर्हि Atmanaha Vedyatvam Ayati. The Atma is so and so, if he say, then Gatapatadivat, we can say how Gata appears. A Gata can be defined. It has a shape, it has a form, it has color, it is available for perception, sense perception. Therefore, we can define a Gata, a pot. We can define a flower. So, if Atma is also like that. A Gata is endowed with guna. A Gata is endowed with properties, attributes. If a thing is endowed with attributes, then it becomes his subject matter for knowing. In fact, we know in the world that which are endowed with attributes that are available for our sense perception and other pramanas. So therefore, Atma also, he wants to know Kidrika. So, and if he can't say Atma is so and so, it like this, then Atmanaha Vedyatvam Nasti. Atmanaha yadi Vedyatvam Nasti. तर्हि शून्यत्व प्रसंगः आत्मा नास्ति इति वदति. Therefore iti shanka bhavitum arhati. If atma is not, if it cannot be defined as like this or that, then atma also, one cannot accept atma. So one can dismiss atma. Dismissing atma, therefore, will be shunya. Therefore, since atma cannot be shunya, if atma is shunya means one negates oneself. One negates oneself. Who is the negator? The person is the negator, negating himself. That is not possible. A subject cannot dismiss himself. Therefore, in order to remove this shanka, this doubt, the shunyatva shanka, here the author says, Atmani idruktam iti tadruktam iti va kasyachit dharmasya gunasya kasyachit dharmasya gunasya angikare, then atmanaha vedyatvam apatet. So because shunyatvam will come, therefore if a person says atma is like this, like that, then atma will become the subject matter for knowing. If it becomes a matter for knowing, like any other object, then it is not, then must be endowed with parts. It must be endowed with the attributes. Because endowed with attributes, therefore it is known. It is endowed with parts. Therefore it becomes like any other object. Then it cannot be Purnaha, it cannot be Nityaha, it cannot be Satya, all the other things. It will be against what the Shastram says about Atma. Then Shastram itself will lose its Pramanatvam. Because we can know Atma through the Pramana, other Pramana, Pratyaksha, the Pramana. Iti Atmanaha Vedyatvam. Iti Atmanaha Vedyatvam Anya Pramanena Bhavati. Tarhi, then Shastra will cease to be a Pramanam. Shastram also doesn't objectify Atma. Shastram as a Pramana, it doesn't establish Atma, it removes only the error pertaining to Atma. Therefore, Atmanaha idruktam tadruktam. Atmani idruktam tadruktam. Astiva na nasti na bhavati. That is what the Swarupam of Atma. You cannot define Atma as this or that. Vidita vidita anyat. So, idrukta tatra, that is Atmani, tatra is tatra, Atmani Brahmani nasti. We want to conceptualize Atma, that is not possible. So you cannot say Atma is such. You cannot say Atma is like this. So all the orientation previous orientation have to be dropped. With regard to Atma, all the previous orientation has to be dropped because idriktvam, idrikta is not possible for Atma. When do we say idriktvam? The next shloka he says, idrikta, it is like this. It means idrik means the object, the vastu is nearby. Tadrik is the vastu is far away. So Atma is not like this. Atma is not like that. So both the near and far are dismissed. That is what in Kena Upanishad we saw. Vidita, Avidita, Abhyam. Vidita, which is nearby, it is known. Avidita, which is far, far from your knowledge. Not known, but subject to knowing later by using appropriate pramana. That is why Vidita, Avidita, Abhyam, Manyat. Acharya beautifully paraphrases that phrase. Idruktam nasti, tadruktam nasti, tatra, that is Atmani, Brahmani Vishaye. Therefore, Atma is not an object. Kidrik iti prichet, idrikta nasti, tatra, tatra is Brahmani, Atmani Vishaye, Vishaya it is. Idrikta nasti, tadrikta api nasti. Yat anidrik, atadrik, it is not idrik, tadrik. Anidrik Atma, atadrik Atma. Therefore, not this, na idrik, anidrik. Na tadrika, atadrika. Neither like this nor like that. That is Atma. In fact, that is the Swarupa of Atma. So this is, therefore, idriktam, that which is nearby is dismissed. Tadriktam, that is which is far away, that also dismissed. So Atma is neither, not like this, not like that. So both are dismissed. Therefore, Atma is neither near nor far. So an object generally can be referred to by this or that, depending on whether it is near or far. Atma is not an object. Therefore, Atma na idrika, anidrika. Atma is na tadrika, atadrika. Then tatswarupam iti vischino. This is the swarupa of Atma. Idriktam, tadriktam va na bhavati atmani. That is the swarupam. Tatswarupam atmanaga swarupam tadeva atmanaga swarupam. Iti vinischino. Vipurvaka ni nischayena vinischinu. Chinu, chidatu, gather, collect. Here it means ascertain. May you ascertain. May you firmly know. This is the. May you firmly know this is the truth of the Atma. Vinishchinu. May you ascertain this very well. Because a person has experience with regard to the vastu, the objects of the world. Therefore, he thinks Atma also should be the subject matter for experience. If it is not available for experience and therefore for knowing, then it doesn't exist. That is the contention. That is the, in fact, that is the doubt. That is a samshaya all the people have. It should be known. If Bhagavan is there, then Bhagavan should be known. Bhagavan should be seen, be available for my experience. May not be. That is, Atma blesses all the anubhava, all the experiences, all the knowledge. But Atma is not available for any experience. Experience is always of an object. And Atma cannot be objectified. Atma is I. I cannot objectify myself. Can I lift myself up? I can lift others. Can I lift physically myself? Not possible. One cannot lift oneself physically. Whereas one can lift others. I cannot see my back. I cannot dial my phone number. I cannot dial my number. Not possible. So therefore, experience belongs to the world of objects. Therefore, only we can negate all the objects. But negate all the object because it is experienced. They are all experienced. But Atma is not experienced. In fact, blesses all the experiences. It is not negatable. It cannot negate. If Atma also pertains to the objective world like this and that, then it is available for Anubhava, then it cannot be Atma anymore. It will be like any other Katapatadi, Padartha. Therefore, only he says, Idriktam Tadriktam Atmanaha Nasti, Tareva Atmanaha Swarupam. That is the Swarupam of Atma. Vidita Vijatabhyam Anyat. Don't try to objectify Atma. The deep meditation, if you experience Atma, that is not experience of Atma. That may be a subtle experience, that may be some mystical experience. Experience is not Atma. Atma is not experienceable because it is the very experiencer. Experiencer is Atma. Without being experienced, the experiencer is Atma. So Atma doesn't become an object of experience. It is ever the experiencer. So therefore, that is the Swarupam Tasya Atmanaha Idriktam Tadriktam Va Na Bhavati. Tika. Idanim Atmanaha Swaprakashatvam Vaktukamaha 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 Vaktumichuhu Tasya Vedyatva Bhave Kidrik Swarupamiti Prashnam Utthapayati. There is a question. What? Idanim Atmanaha Swaprakashatvam Vaktukamaha. Atmanaha Swapraksha Vaktukamaha, that is the Acharya, the author here, Vidyaranya Muni. He is the Vaktukamaha. Vaktum Ichuhu. Vaktukamaha. Tasya Atma is Swaprakasha Atma. Atma is Swaprakashaha. Svetara Aprakashyatve. Svetara Prakashakatvam Swaprakashakatvam. That is the definition of Swaprakasha. Swaprakashatvam, we saw before. That is that which cannot be illumined by other things, but which illumines everything else. That is Swaprakasha. It's Swaprakasha, Swaprakashatvam. So Atmana Swaprakashatvam, he wants to present, the author wants to present. Therefore, Vedyatva Bhave, absence of, not available for objectifying, Vedyatva Bhave, Kidrika Swarupam iti. What Swarupam? What is the nature of Atma iti? Prashnam Utthapayati. Prashnam is Kidrika Atma iti Prashnam. That is a pritchet. Kidrik iti. Ayam Abhiprayaha. Atmanaha Idriktvadira. Kenachit Rupena. Vaishishtya Angikare. Tena Yeva Rupena Vedyatvam Syat. So idea is Abhiprayaha. Ayam Abhipraya. This is the Abhipraya idea. That is Atmanaha Idriktvadina Kenachit Rupena Vaishishtya Angikare. By Idrika, by such and such, by so, Kenachit Rupena, then if we accept Atma with Vaishishtyam, Vishishta, that some dharma, Angika, some dharma, the guna, Vaishishtya Angikare, Kenachit Rupena, in some form, some nama, some rupa, nama rupa. If we accept Atma, then Tena Iva Rupena Vedyatvam Syar, then it becomes known by that very form. That Anangikare, when it is not accepted, then Shunyatvam iti Satyam. If it is not available for knowing, then Shunyatvam, Atma is Shunyatvam, Atma is Shunya, Shunyatam iti Satyam. Therefore, Idrikta Idriktadi Angikare, Tateva Vedyatvam, Tatu Anangi Nangi Kriyate Itiyaha Idrikiti. Therefore, Idriktadi Angikare. Atma is so and so. Suppose if we accept, then it is, then it enjoys the status of being known. But tattu anangi kriyate, that is not accept anangi kriyate iti aga idrika iti. But that is not angi kriyate atma idrika iti. Upalakshanam etat tadruktvasyapi ubaya abhavam. Ubaya abhavam evaha et anidrik iti. So upalakshanam etat, upalakshanam etat tadrik, eta idrik, the same way tadrik also. So ubayam abhava. Therefore, both are not there for atma. Idriktum tadriktum nasti. That alone the author is expressed through Yadani drikatadrik, yet anidrik atadrik iti. So Atma is, if we accept idrik, then Atma becomes Vedyaha. If it is Vedyaha Rupena, Visishta Rupena, then it becomes an object. If it is not Vedyaha, then Shunyatva Prasanga. Iti doubt can come. Therefore, in order to remove the doubt, it is not Shunya, Atma is idrika tadrikiti navaktum shakyate. So that is what the author says. Yadi visishta rupena angikriyate tarhi vedyatvam syat. Tad anangikare, if it is not accepted, then shunyatvam. This is what the student knows, because this is what his orientation is. It must be known. If it is not known, then it doesn't exist. Therefore, but the author says, no, Atma is not like that. Idriktum tadriktum nasti atmanaha. Idriktva the anangikare. When we don't accept idriktam for Atma, tattu na angikriyate iti aha idrik iti. So Atma is not vedyatva vishaya. Idriktam anangikare means Atma is not vedya vishaya. Therefore, anangikriyate, we don't acknowledge that Atma is idrik. This whoever may be the questioner is pushing us to say, you tell Atma is idrika tadrika. That we cannot say. Idrika when we cannot say. Idrika means then it becomes Vedya Vishaya. Idrika means it becomes Vedya Vishaya. It is not Vedya Vishaya. Atma doesn't have Vedyatvam. Therefore, Vedyatvam na angikriyate. Idrika iti Vedyatvam na angikriyate. Therefore, Atma is anidrika, atadrika. That is how the Atma can be defined. That is the Swarupam of Atma. Atma is neither like this, nor like that. So having said for Idrika, the same thing is applicable for Tadrika also. Tadriktasyapi ubaya abhavam eva aga yat anidrika iti. Yat anidrika, yat atadrika tadeva atmanaha swarupam tat swarupam iti vinishchinu. So one has to give up the orientation with regard to Atma. You cannot contain Atma to our previous orientation. So therefore, because I don't see Atma, because I cannot define Atma like this or that, then one cannot say Atma doesn't exist. If Atma can be, if suppose Atma becomes definable by Idrika, Tadrika, then it becomes one Padartha only, one of the Padartha. You are making the Atma reduced to just a Padartha, a Vishaya, endowed with attributes. Then it is not Atma. Because it is Atma, therefore it is not Vedyaha. If it is not Vedya, then Shunya. No, that is also not. Why? Because Atma cannot be defined as Idrik or Tadrik. Idrikva Tadrikva iti Atmanaha kasyapi dharmaha nasti. Dharmasya angikare Vedyatvam apatet. We don't accept any dharma for Atma because what Shruti says, Ashabdam asparsham arupam avyayam. Yatadadresham agragam agotram avarnam achakshushrotram dadapani padam. So therefore, Atmani Vedyatva prasangaha nasti. Vedyatva prasangaha nasti ataha Atma idrika tadrika iti vaktum na shakyate. That is a swarupam. Tadeva swarupam Atmaha iti vinishchinu. The problem is one is not able to see oneself. One is not able to appreciate oneself. One always accepts other than oneself. One is not able to acknowledge oneself. Even to the extent of saying that I don't exist. So that is the biggest obstacle. That is the biggest obstacle in the form of samshaya. Samshayatma vinashyati. That is why in Mundaka Upanishad, that's in Gita we saw. Vidyate hridaya grantiki chidyante sarva samshayaha. All the samshaya. This is big samshaya. Aham astiva, aham asmiva. That's why chitvainam samshayam yogam atishto tishtabharata in Gita also we saw recently. Now, having said this, idriktam tadriktam, that he explains, idriktam. When you know things like that is which this means which are near. How do you know these things which are near? How do you know things which are far? By what? Pramanam. That he says. And that is not applicable for Atma. Because anyat vidita viditabhyam anyat Atma iti. Number 27. Akshanam vishayastvidrik parokshastadriguchyate.
प्राणां विषयदृक्
परोक्षतादृकुच्यते
परोक्षस्तादृच्यते
विषयीडाक्ष विषयस्वत्वान्नास्य परोक्षता.
विषयीनाक्षविषयत्वान्नास्य
विषयीनाक्षविषयत्वान्नस्य
परोक्षता
परोक्षता
नास्य परोक्षता
आत्मा ईदृक न भवति. आत्मा तादृक न भवति. कथम उच्यते? किम कारणम? कथम उच्यते? How do you say so? Idrik referring to the objects which are available near and that are available for your sense perception, sense organs. Sense organs can objectify things which are available near, close by. Whatever may be the distance, eyes up to the range of perception, the range of seeing, similarly ears. All those vishayas are idrik vishaya, pratyaksha vishaya. Akshanam, indriyanam. Akshanam is indriya. Akshin, shabda. Indriyanam. Indriyanam vishayaha idrik. So idrik is indriya vishayaha bhavati. So idrik, akshanam vishayaha tu idrik. Idrik is indriyanam vishayaha. It means pratyaksha. It is the object of pratyaksha pramanam. So akshanam vishayaha. So it is the object of pratyaksha pramana. Available for sense organs. Indriya gocharaha ityartaha. Indriya gochara. ये विषयाः इन्द्रियगोचराः ते ईदृक् इति शब्देन उच्यते. तद्वत् ये विषयाः न तु इन्द्रियगोचराः किन्तु गोचराः, न तु इन्द्रियगोचराः, किन्तु गोचराः एव. ते तादृक् इति शब्देन उच्यते. Means what? They are not Indriya Gochara, but they are known. They are available for Pramana. So it means they are Paroksha. Therefore, Tadrik Parokshaha Uchyate. In fact, the word Pratyaksha, Paroksha, we have seen before. What is Pratyaksha? Akshnaha Prati Pratyakshaha. Close by the sense organs. Close to the sense organs. That is Pratyakshaha, Akshnaha Prati. Away from sense organs, Parokshaha. Akshnaha Paraha Paroksham. Away from sense organs. Away from sense organs, Tadrik. So, away from sense organs, Tadrik. Close by, close to sense organs, Idrik. Atma is neither Pratyaksha Vishaya nor Paroksha Vishaya. Therefore, it is not Idrik, not Tadrik. Why we say it is not Idrik, Tadrik? Because it is neither Pratyaksha nor Paroksha. It means Atma is not a Vishaya. Atma is always Vishayi. Atma is always Vishayi. It cannot become Vishaya. It's Vishayi, Sakshi for all the Vyavahara. Therefore, it is neither Pratyaksha nor Paroksha. Aham Atma is neither, I am neither Idrik, Tadrik. Aham Atma always Vishayi, not a Vishaya. The one who objectifies all the Vishayas is the Vishayi, the Atma. It is always aparoksha. Aparoksha it is. Neither paroksha nor pratyaksha. It is sakshat aparoksham Brahma. Paroksha dismisses pratyaksha. And aparoksha dismisses both pratyaksha and paroksha. So therefore aham atma is, it is aparokshaha. Na aksha vishayaha. It is not the vishaya for the sense organs. It means not pratyaksha. Then Svatman Nasya. Svatvat, that is Swarupatvat, na asya parokshata, the status of being remote, na nasti, not there. Akshanam Vishayaha na bhavati Vishayi, Vishayi the Atma. Na Aksha Vishayaha is Indriyanam Vishayaha, na kaha, that Vishayi Atma. Atma is neither, Atma is not the Vishaya for the Pratyaksha Pramana. Because Pratyaksha Pramana can objectify, that sense organ can objectify which objects which are nearby. So it can objectify only objects. Therefore, this Atma, that being the subject, it objectifies everything. How can the object objectify Atma? Not possible. Therefore, sense organs cannot objectify Atma, Sakshi Chaitanyam. Then Svatva, Swarupatva, Asya, Atmanaha, Parokshata, Na. Atma is, then one can say it could be Paroksha Vishaya. No, that is also not. It is not a Paroksha Vishaya. Parokshata, Na. Swarupatvat, because of the nature of what the nature being, given the nature of what the Atma is. Therefore, Asya Atmanaha Parokshata na nasti. Paroksha Abhavat, therefore Tadrik iti Vaktam na shakyate. Therefore, Idrik na Vaktam shakyate Pratyaksha Avishayatvat. Tadrik api iti Vaktam na shakyate Paroksha Avishayatvat. Tari Atma Idrik, neither Idrik na Tadrik. That is what Atma is. That is the Swarupam of Atma. Means any attempt to know the Atma as an object is dismissed. You cannot objectify Atma. No attempt should be made with regard to the Atma to know as a Vishaya. So, therefore, no Pratyaksha Jnanam. Atma is not Pratyaksha Jnanam, not Paroksha Jnanam. Swaswarupatvat, Parokshata Nasti. The Yetu also is given. Swatvat, Parokshata Nasti. Neither. Therefore, it is, both are negated. Therefore, it has to be Aparoksha. Aparoksha, when it is Nitya Aparoksha, always it is Nitya Aparoksha Atma. Now the Tika. nahi pratignya matrena artha siddhi iti ashankya idrik tadrik shabdayoho artham abhidanaha tad avachyatvam upapadayati. Just because by saying idrika na idrika na tadrika artha siddhi na bhavati. Because you say idrika tadrika na atma, therefore by that you cannot gain anything. You have to prove it. Idrika tadrika shabdayoho artha abhidanam. Therefore artha abhidanaha. What is idrika tadrika? You have to say. You have to explain what is idrika tadrika. Why you say with regard to atma? Tad avachyatvam. You cannot describe atma as idrika tadrika avachyatvam. Eto vacho nivartante. Cannot say. That Upapadayati, that author says. How does it say? Akshanam iti. Pratyakshasya eva gatadehe idrika shabdavachyatvam drishtam. That is seen, that is perceived. Pratyakshasya eva. That is pratyaksha pramanam. Pratyaksha, that is available for aksha, indriya. Like gatadehe, gatapatadi. They alone enjoy the status of being objectified, vachyatvam. They are seen, objectified. Parokshasya eva dharmadehe tadak shabdavachyatvam. That which are not pratyaksha, akshnaha prati, paraha, akshnaha, paraha. Therefore, with regard to them, tadrik word can be used. Therefore, vachyatvam, the status of being, saying, objectifying, is there for the vishayas which are not available for pratyaksha, that is paroksha. But what about Atma? Atma is drashtuhu, drashta, drashtuhu, atmanastu, Atma is drashta, drashtuhu saptami. Drashtuhu atmanastu, indriya janya jnana vishayatva abhavat. It is not born of the knowledge, it is not born of it is not born of the indriyas. Knowledge is not born of the indriyas. That is indriya janya jnanam. Vishayatva abhavat. Vishaya is an object of knowing, jnana vishaya, object of knowing. So the knowledge of an object which is born of the indriyas, that is not there for atma abhavat. Therefore abhavat na idritvam svatvena eva parokshatva swaswarupatva, that is, it is paroksha, swaswarupatva parokshata nasti, parokshatva abhavat na tadruk tadruktam ityartaha. So parokshatva abhavat tadruk shabdena vaktum na shakyate. So it is not indriyajanya jnanam atma drashtuhu. In fact, indriyas are blessed by atma. Therefore, there are anubhava indriya vishaya sanyoga. Sanyoga jaha jnanam. All these are possible. Therefore, drashta atma is neither known through the indriyas either by pratyaksha or paroksha. You cannot known by microscope or by telescope. Both out of scope it is for other pramanas. In fact, now no pramana is required, not other pramana. Shastra also doesn't objectify Atma. Shastra removes the notions, the wrong notions which are there for Atma. The adhyasa it removes. Ajnanam it removes with regard to Atma. Because of avidya, there is adhyasa. Because of adhyasa, there is vyavahara. So for avidya is removed. It is like Raju Sarpa or Shuktika Rajata. Shuktikayam Rajata Aropaha. That Aropanam, it is Mithya Aropanam, that is removed. So that is the job of the Shastram. Then, if that is so, up to this, you see from 13th shloka onwards, we have been discussing about this Atmanahastitvam, Atmatvam. Now here, from here onward, next shloka onwards, Satyatvam of the Atma is talked about. Let us read the Tika is a big Tika. Let us read the 28th shloka. Avedyoप्यपरो क्षोतस्वप्रकाशो भवत्ययम्
अवेद्योऽप्यपरोक्षोऽतस्वप्रकाशो भवत्ययम्
सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं चेत्
स्वप्रकाशो
यस्तीह
भवत्ययम्
ब्रह्मलक्षणम्
सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं
तं चेत्
चेत्
यस्तिह
यस्तीह
ब्रह्मलक्षणम्
ब्रह्मलक्षणम्
तेष्यस्तीह ब्रह्मलक्षणम्
आत्मा इज अवेद्यः अवेद्यः अपि अपरोक्षः अतः अतः इज therefore अयम आत्मा न वेद्यः न तो इंद्रिय विषयः अवेद्यः आत्मा इज अवेद्यः अवेद्यः not objectifiable अवेद्यः अपि अपरोक्षः not objectifiable it is aparoksha. So being aparoksha, therefore it has to be what then? It has to be swaprakashaha because it is avedyaha and it is aparokshaha, therefore it must be swaprakashaha. Swaprakashaha atmayam atma swaprakashaha bhavati. And this atma is Brahma. So that is what the author is going to say. Atma is Brahma. So avedyatvam api aparokshaha, therefore swaprakashaha bhavati. That is the Swayam Prakashate Atma. In the presence of Atma, in the presence of Brahma, everything is Bhati. And that Lakshanam is given in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Nigitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. Atma is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Atma is Panchakosha Vilakshanaha and Guhayam Nigitaha. This Atma is Brahma Lakshanam. Atma is Brahma. They are Samanya in Lakshanam. They are Samanya in Lakshanam. So therefore Samanya Lakshanat Atma is Brahma. Atma fulfills all the definitions of Brahma. Brahma is Satyam. That's what Taittiriya Upanishad says. Satyam, Brahma Satyam. Brahma is Jnanam. Brahma is Anantam. Satyam is it exists. Trikale Tishtati iti Sat Satyam. And it is Jnapti Swarupaha, knowledge, the form of knowledge, Chaitanyam, consciousness. And it is Ananta, not subject to limitation. It is Purnaha. The same thing is applicable for Atma also. Atma is Sat. Trikale Tishtati iti Sat, Atma Sat. Atma is not limited by any time, any vyavastha also. Bhute, abhavat, vartamane asti, bhavishyati eva. So where is the kala? Kala cannot limit, therefore satyam cannot be negated. It cannot be negated. That is important. It is badaragitam. Satyam is badaragitam. It can negate everything. That's what we discussed. Atma can negate everything, but Atma cannot be negated. Satyam. And it is in the form of knowledge. It illumines everything. And it is Anantam, not subject, not confined by the Shariya Manasangata. Therefore, Brahma Lakshanam is Atma Lakshanam. Atma is Brahma. So Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma iti Brahmanaha Lakshanam Atmanaha Asti. So therefore, Indriya Janya Jnanasya Vishayasya Bhava na bhavati Atma. Therefore, Atma is not Vedyaha, Vedyaha iti. Atma is Indriya Janya Jnanasya Vishayana Ataha Avedyaha. Avedyaha Atma Sarvesham Aparokshaha eva. So Avedyaha Aparokshaha Atma, therefore Ataha, therefore Asmat. Ayam Atma Saprakashaha. Swayam Prakashate Atma. Anatmanaha Brahmatvam Asti Katam Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma iti Brahmanaha Lakshanam. Tadeva Atmanaha api Brahma Svaprakasham. Atma Svaprakasham. That is what the Shruti also says. Satyam Jnanam Ananta Brahma. In fact, that Taittiriya Upanishad, Tasmad Etasmat Atmanaha Akasha Sambhutaha. The next line, the Taittiriya Upanishad. Tasmat Etasmat. Tasmat is from that Brahma. Then Etasmat, the word is used. Etasmat, Etad referring to that which are near. Tasmat, Etasmat, from that, this Brahma, this Atma. From that Brahma, this Atma. Tasmat, Etasmat, Atmanaha, the word is used. Etasmat, Atmanaha. Tasmat Brahmanaha, Etasmat, Atmanaha. Akasha Sambhutaha, Akasha Advayu, Vayu Ragnihi, Agni Rapaha, Adya Prithvi. Therefore, Atma is Brahma Eva. Shruti itself there it says. So Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Jiva Brahma Eva na Paraha. There is no difference between Jiva and Brahma. That is Atma and Brahma. So therefore Atma is Brahma iti. Atmanaha Lakshanam, Brahma Lakshanam. They are same. It means Atma is Brahma iti. Yata Brahma is Avedyaha, Aparokshaha, Suprakashaha. Atma also Avedyaha, not available for knowing. It is not born. The knowledge of Atma is not born of Indriya. Therefore Avedyaha we say. It is not Vidita, not Avidita. Vidita, Viditabhya, Manyata Atma. And it is ever Aparoksha. And therefore this Atma is Saprakashaha. It illumines everything. What about itself? It is self-illumining. So therefore this Atma is Brahma Eva. So that is what the author wants to prove it here. So starting from here, Atmanaha Satyatvam. That is Bada. Atma is Satyam. It is not available for Bada, not available for negation. Yata Brahma Asti. Brahman Nasti iti Vaktum na Shakite. Brahma Asti Eva. That is Asti Sattvam. That is Brahma. When we cannot ask, it is ever. In fact, in the previous Prakaranam, we saw what was at the beginning of the creation. Asatva idamagra asit. What was asit? Purvam. Srishtehe prak. Brahma eva. Srishtehe paschat. Brahma eva. Purvapi Brahma, paschatapi Brahma. Therefore, it is Brahma asti eva. It is in the Purva Prakaranam we saw. So Atma, Yata Brahma asti, Tadvata Atma asti. Atmanaha Satyatvam Siddhyati, because Atma is Brahma. And also by all the yuktis we have seen before. So that is Atmanaha Satyatvam is going to be the topic from here onwards, 28 shloka onwards. We will see. We'll see in the next class. Tika we will read in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಕ್ಷರಂಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.